Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Angel Storm. I'm the founder of Ashes to Beauty Ministries, and today I want to build off of my last video where I talked about how you are a gateway and how there's multiple ways that things enter into your spirit, your soul, and your body. Kind of want to expound upon that in this video. This is really important because a lot of people's healing or lack of healing, especially from very traumatic events in life, don't happen because they're not able to receive what they are given in a way that can be applied to their situation. So in the last video, you'll remember that I spoke about, paying attention to what you're allowing into your body, soul, and spirit, and into the atmosphere of your home. And I had given the example of the way that you eat, paying attention to that. Like, your body is using the food that you eat to build its own self, and so if you feed it only things from a box or things from a bag or things that are frozen, that's all that your body is going to have to work with. And the same is true of information. And I spoke a little bit about why you should be paying attention to the types of information that you are getting, and I have another video called Be Careful Who You Listen To, which you can find on my YouTube channel as well. But I want to talk to you today about something that I call illegal knowledge. When you are experiencing something that's traumatic and you're trying to wrap your head around it, and especially with the whole idea of narcissism, if you've never experienced narcissistic abuse, or if you've never even been taught about it until you were so far into a relationship with the narcissist that it felt like there was no way out, it can be natural for you to try to counter what you've experienced by consuming all of the information that you possibly can. And I have another video called Information Glutton that I really encourage you to go watch after this video is done. Really, what happens when you get into this cycle of consuming information, you can sometimes end up with illegal knowledge, illegal information that was never meant to enter into your spirit, and that can really derail your path and getting back on track, healing, righting the wrongs, correcting the things that had gotten off course in your life. And that's really what I want to talk about in this video today. I want to kind of explain this in such a way to counter the beliefs that are kind of on both ends of the spectrum. There's some people who believe like all of the things that are available are for us to know about, are for us to learn about, and so therefore nothing is off limits. And there's people on the other hand that are so strict or so stringent in what they'll listen to and what they'll consume that their mind never has the opportunity to grow, and they don't actually ever progress from where they are. Even if years or months or all of these different scenarios have happened, they still stay in that same place, and they never take those hardships, the trials in life and things like that, to grow. They never look at them as an opportunity to expand. And if you'll recall, I've already told you that all of the trials that you face in life are specifically designed to pull out a part of you that has not been brought about before or in enough measure. And so you need to become that version of you, that better, more developed, the wiser, all of that. The better version of you has to come out for you to conquer that trial and to move on into the next phase of your life. And so there are people out there who just never allow anything new to enter into their sphere, and so then they never grow. And so I want to explain that there is a middle pathway into both of these kind of ideologies, and that is really what I'm speaking about today. So there is certainly illegal knowledge. There's knowledge that if you obtain it, it's going to derail the direction that you go off in your life, and you think that it's truth, but it's really not. It's a counterfeit to truth, and absorbing that type of information can definitely be harmful. But on the other hand, think about the way that you are watching this video right now. There's wavelengths going, there's information, there is countless frequencies being poured out all around you. You know that there are TV channels, there's people's phone conversations, there's all of these things traveling the airways that you're sitting in right now, and that's even allowing this video to be streamed to you right now. And so like a TV or like a cell phone, like a radio, like anything that's made as a receiver, it has to be turned on, and it has to actually be turned to the right frequency in order to receive the information that's being sent. And so that is true with us as well. We actually have to be turned on in that frequency, in that realm, in that dimension, to be able to receive information. And so it doesn't just happen where you're just like walking about and, you know, illegal knowledge comes into your head. It doesn't work that way unless you've already turned on the switch in your spirit to receive illegal knowledge. And so we shouldn't be afraid is what I'm ultimately getting at. So you shouldn't be afraid, you know, to go into somebody's house who has a Christmas tree or whatever. You know, that's all very religious in its mindset. You're not going to like catch something by going to visit somebody who has a different belief than you. And at the same time, you shouldn't be unaware of things that can come up, but rather be prepared. And that's ultimately what I call making predetermined choices. And I have a whole teaching on that as well. So when you make predetermined choices, it frees up a lot more bandwidth in your mind, in your emotions. You're not constantly worried about like, what am I going to say if this happens, or what I do if this happens. You're not going to have those kinds of thoughts because you've already made a predetermined choice, and it really alleviates a lot of the stress or a lot of the tension of situations that you could be walking into. And this technique or this kind of confidence is great for people who are going through court battles with a narcissist, because you're really able to focus on what the questions are being asked to you in the moment, and you're not worried about if he says this or if you say this, then this will happen. And you kind of already played out all of those scenarios, and you've landed on a firm answer or foundation that you're going to build upon, and you're not going to stray from those answers because you've had time to think about it when there was not kind of the stress or the pressure externally coming at you. Okay, so I wanted to kind of talk about now how you can know if you're entering illegal knowledge. You see, because again, a lot of people have such blocks up in their own self that they're blinded to what they see. They don't even know that they can't see. Jesus talked a lot about this. He said, you think that you have ears, but you don't hear, and you think that you have eyes, but you can't see. And there's multiple situations in which he spoke those words, and it you know, there's nothing new under the sun. It's that those sayings still have not gone out of applicability. So one of the things that can happen is that when you've gone through some very traumatic situation, again, you know, this channel specifically speaking about narcissistic abuse, but it can really be applied to any kind of trauma, you tend to build up these blockages. You know, if you get wounded in your body will heal, and sometimes there'll be a scar tissue left there, right? It's from where the wound was so deep that your body had to work extra hard, and there's a buildup now of tissue, of skin and things like that where the wound was. And that can also happen inside of us, so in our spirits and in our souls. If we don't take care of those wounds, and if we don't allow them to properly heal, we don't address them correctly, then we can get these, you know, hard places in our hearts, these scar tissue areas that have been built up, and it blinds us from being able to even see the fact that we have hard areas within ourselves that kind of need to get worked out. And so sometimes if you go to kind of get help or get information, or you're trying to just make sense of something that has happened to you, again specifically with a traumatic situation, and you're describing what happened and you listen to the other person, but you don't receive what they say, it could be the fact that you have these hard places in your heart where that information has no place to land. So remember, I just spoke about how, like, in the natural, you have to have the TV set to a certain channel. If you want to watch a certain game, or if you want to watch a certain show, it has to be on that channel that game is being broadcast on. And the same is true internally speaking with our souls and our spirits. We have to actually be willing and able to receive the information that is coming to us in order for it to land and to have an effect. So again, on this channel, I want to really start helping you to know how to do these things for your own self, right? So being able to keep accountability within your own self about what is in there that may be hindering your progress, maybe hindering your own healing, and moving forward into the more that you should be stepping into. So you got to be aware that there could be hard places in your heart, and that is why some of the information or some of the things that people have been saying to you to try to help you, it hasn't been landing anywhere because it's too hard there. That soil isn't ready to absorb the information that has been given out. So that's number one. Number two is that illegal knowledge can also come through this same gateway, through the same mechanism. You're so hungry, you're so searching for healing that you're searching out all of this information and all of this knowledge from all these different types of sources. And what can happen is that you, in your quest to heal yourself, in your quest to get back on your path and do your destiny and all of that, you absorb, you take in information that was never meant for you to take in, and it has led you further off of the course. You're not healing, you're not able to make peace with what you've gone through because you've actually taken in information that shouldn't be in your heart either way. And so both are possible, both scenarios are possible, and it's important, again, that's why I encourage you in my previous video to be paying attention to what your gateways are doing. Like, how much time are you allowing the TV to be on, and you're absorbing that information, not just, again, like the sound waves, but the actual waves, the blue light and things like that that are emitted from the TV into your body and into your soul and into your spirit. And likewise, what are you eating? Are you giving your body what it needs to create the best version of you possible? Are you giving your mind the information that it needs to expand and to grow, to heal, and to cultivate a garden in your mind instead of just a bed of weeds? So these are all very important, and so step one is obviously paying attention to what's coming in through your gateways. And step number two is being aware of the fact that there may be, first of all, hard places in your heart which isn't allowing information to land that needs to land there. And second of all, recognizing that maybe you have already absorbed wrong or illegal knowledge, and that needs to get rooted out as well. It needs to get weeded out of the garden of your heart. And a good way to tell if you have some hard areas in your heart, again, are taking a look at what you believe, these what ifs. And I have a video again that I talk about that and how to address those things. So if you find yourself thinking like, my life could be better, but it probably won't because all of these other things, or what if I get so invested into thinking that my life is going to be better, but it never does get better. And so those what if scenarios are the hard places in your heart for sure. They're doubts, they're unbeliefs, they're wrong beliefs, they are bad pathways of thinking even that need to get rerouted, and you have to work through those things on your own. And again, you're going to stay facing those same problems until you come to peace with them, until you resolve those issues and they're no longer a hindrance to you, because there's something in you that has to be the thing that changes when you're faced with that obstacle. That's number one. Take a look and see if there are hard places in your heart that isn't allowing the information to land somewhere inside of your soul, inside of your spirit. Again, I've talked about this before, but you have a body and you have a soul and you are a spirit. And the more of those things that don't get healed in your body, they can actually cause wounds in your soul. That's why physical abuse in your body is so traumatic, because it's not just something that happens to your body, it happens to your soul as well. And so if you don't heal the depth of that wound, your bones might have healed, your cuts may have healed, whatever. Your skin would have healed from its bruising. But if you haven't actually taken the time to heal your soul as well, that wound is not only still there, it's festering, and it can leak into your spirit, where you have a broken spirit. You have a spirit that's fragmented and it doesn't really know who it is. This is why there's so many identity issues. It's because there can be trauma that has happened so deep. And likewise, if you have pursued a path that has opened you up to different spirits, different belief systems, that can all be damaging to your spirit. And so your spirit needs to get healed so that your soul can get healed, and ultimately that's going to reflect on the outside in your body as well. So please pay attention to the hard places of your heart, and as well as any illegal knowledge that you may have accessed. Really sit and be quiet. You need to learn how to be still, which I kind of mentioned in another video as well, where sometimes these periods of stillness, these periods of quietness aren't just teaching us like one lesson. They're teaching our whole being how to be still, how to hear in the Spirit, how to follow Holy Spirit's voice, how to be obedient, how to walk and live in the Spirit and not just be reacting to the things that we see or reproving after the things that we hear. So we need to learn how to be still, because there's a lot more benefits that come along with that. There's a lot more being cultivated than just one issue or one like a one-time situation. This is a lifestyle. This is like something that needs to be there at your being, like at the core of who you are. You need to be able to do that. And so being still, listening, waiting for Holy Spirit's voice, and then doing whatever it is that He instructs you to do. So whatever prayer He leads you to pray, however that door gets shut, make sure that you do those things and then you don't reopen that door. And so that illegal knowledge can no longer have the pull, have the authority over you to make you continuing on that path over that way when your path should be over here. And so paying attention again to the types of information, to the voices that you're listening to, the books that you're reading, the shows that you're watching, the conversations that you're having, you know, all of those types of things are going to have so much more benefit to you when you can judge rightly the atmosphere, the environment that you're stepping into. And then when you have like cleaned your environment, as I would say, your atmosphere is totally clean, it's a lot easier for you to discern what's actually happening when you sit down to have a conversation. But if everything is so noisy, busy, and moving all around you all of the time, you never have any quietness, you don't ever have any stillness, you're not going to know what's the real thing and what's the counterfeit. And so again, cleaning out your atmosphere and being intentional about creating an atmosphere where your soul and spirit are going to have the opportunity to heal and to grow, even if it's uncomfortable at first. And you can get used to chaos, you can get used to thinking that that's normal, and so when there's peace, it feels very uncomfortable for you. And that's something that you're going to have to retrain yourself. You have to literally rewire your brain, like the way that your physical body responds to peace and quiet, as well as getting comfortable in your soul and allowing all of the things that you have been hiding underneath the movement and the busyness to come to the surface and address them in such a way that they are gone and out of there, so that you can reach your spirit as well and get reconnected with not only your true self and your true identity, but the one who created you. Because ultimately, without that connection, you're always going to find yourself doubting or contemplating whether or not you're in the right situation. Is this the right path for your life, your purpose, your identity? You're going to find yourself repeating the same behaviors because you're not tethered to anything. And you need to have that connection in order to make sure that you remain on the path that's set out for you. Alright guys, I hope that this video has helped you. If you want to learn more about me and about what I do, you can visit my website and you can find all the links to my books, my courses, any other thing about me in the description of this video. And one more thing, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video.